Please welcome Greg Stone.
More. Yes. I'm a hero. How are we? How you guys doing? You had a good time? Good. Good. Because I need this to go well. Yeah, man. It's been tough. I had a baby this year. No. It's killing me. I'm 22 years old. Well, I was a 22-year-old Asian boy last year. And now this happened. It was crazy too, man. It was wild. The kid came early. Like father, like son. I was on stage performing when my wife went into labor. I was on this stage. I walked out that door. I walked upstairs. I looked at my phone. I had 25 missed phone calls. I called my wife. I was like, "What's up?" She goes, "Don't freak out. My water broke. Just get home when you can." So I freaked out. I jumped in a cab. I was like, "Hey, man, my wife just went into labor. You gotta get me home." The cab driver turns around, looks at me, and goes, "Buddy, I've been waiting for this. My whole life." Turned his hat around, wiped a tear out of his eye, did 250 miles an hour. I swear to God, he was riding up people's asses. He's swerving in and out. My wife's on the phone. She's like, "Don't worry, we have time." He's like, "We've got no time." Yeah, and just jumped over the Hudson River. I'm not even kidding. He pulls in front of my house. He shuts the meter off. He goes, "Get your wife. I'm taking you both to the hospital." My wife waddles down the steps. She's like, "Who is this?" I was like, "This is Hamid. This is the new Godfather. Someone tell my brother he's out. Hamid is ride or die." That's what I'm talking about. Let's do it. All right, fuck it. I thought we were doing something. I guess we're doing something else. All right. World's premier horny comedian in the house. Just women like, "Yeah, all right. You got a woman pregnant? All right, let's do another one. Let's get another one." Any parents here? Clap it up if you have a kid. Anybody have any parents here? A couple. I gotta be honest, sir. That was the saddest clap I've ever seen for human life. You just went. It was like you have a kid, but you don't want anyone to know. You're like, "Yeah, I got one in my basement." "Yeah, well, I know, right? I got one." Just kidding. You have a kid? What do you got? 20-year-old. Oh, so you're done. Girl? 20 and a girl. Ooh, that's a good time. Yeah, she's happy. She's in college. She's getting into something. Sorry, this isn't who I am. I don't want to do this. I apologize. I don't know. It's right there, and I'm like, what am I doing? Don't say that about this man's kid. Thank you. Why am I saying thank you? I don't know. What do you got? A son? Did you watch the birth? Yeah. You felt the birth? That is the wildest thing I've ever heard in my life. I felt the birth. That could mean one of two things. You were connected emotionally with your wife, and she's like, and you're like, "Me too." Or she was pushing, and you're like, "Fuck that, I'm gonna feel the birth. Hang on, let me get in there." And you just kind of... Sorry, that was a little dirty. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. I watched it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to handle it. I walk in, the doctor pulls me aside. He goes, "Daddy, your job's gonna be to hold your wife's leg as she pushes." I was like, "First of all, don't call me daddy." That's way too sexual for what's happening here. Do you know what happens to people who call me daddy? Look at this woman. Look at this woman on this table. She is the last one who called me daddy. You call me daddy again, I'll see you in 9 months, Papi Chulo. I don't give a fuck. Daddy. Plus, he just told me to hold her leg. That's not a real job. That is busy work. And I know it was busy work because no one was holding her other leg. Like, if this is so important, why is no one manning that leg? Hamid, thanks for sticking around. Grab that leg, Godfather. You're in now. Thank you, brother. You know what it felt like? You know what it honestly felt like? I don't know if any of you play video games and your little brother wants to play, so you just give him a controller that's not plugged in. That's what the doctor did to me. I'm sitting here like, I am killing it. He's like, that shit ain't even Bluetooth. Don't even matter. Yeah, that doesn't even work. Doesn't even work. Yeah. Then we had the baby. Baby came out Asian. My wife's Asian. I probably should have said that first, but no. But I bring it up because the baby came out 1,000% Asian. He didn't look anything like me at all. People were just assuming I adopted my own child. What do you do in that situation? At first, I used to correct them. But at some point, I gave up. I just started getting adoption credit I don't even deserve. I was in a Starbucks. I walked in. This lady was like, he's beautiful. I was like, yeah, he's a rescue. He's a rescue, yeah. How about a free latte for a hero? What do you say? I'm on a house. They're like, was it a long process? Nah, I was in and out. It was pretty quick. Yeah, but I love them, man. It's crazy. What other parents? Any other parents here? Clap it up. Yeah, yeah. What do you got? 13 and a 9-year-old. Oh, 13. Ooh, that means, yeah, he's getting ready to fuck the couch. Good for you. That's about that age, I think. Yeah. You gotta do a lot of long knocks. When you're walking in the house, you gotta be like, we're home now! And he's like, oh, hey, Mom! Nothing. It's like your pants are down. Oh, right. But you love him? You do. You love him. It's crazy. I love my kid. I thought I loved my wife. Fuck that bitch. I love this kid. I don't know what happened. But let me say this about love, because what I was taught love is, and I really believe, real love isn't that thing you fall into. It's not that thing where you see someone and you look in their eyes, you're like, oh, we met an eternity ago, and that's just the part of your brain that watches TikTok videos, and it's like, it's the horny part. That's not real love. Real love is worked for, and it is built. Okay, that is real love. And this kid didn't earn shit. He doesn't deserve it, and I love him more than anyone. My wife earned it. I met her, and I was like, I like you. She's like, I like you, and we built love. This kid, just think of how he got here. Day one, blasted through my wife's vagina. He destroyed the thing that I love most. He just broke it. And he didn't stop there. He moved on to her tits. He chewed those apart. Second favorite thing. Now that's off the menu. Now, every single night, he stays awake screaming. No one is sleeping. He's moved on to psychological torture. He's a terrorist. He's a little terrorist. I call him Guantanamo Baby, right to his face. What's he gonna do? I don't care. I kiss him on the lips. I don't give a shit. I'm like a CEO in the 80s. I'm Me Tooing the shit out of this kid. I don't care. Can't talk, can't consent. I don't care. I'll lick him. I don't care. My family never showed emotion. I don't know how to regulate the love, so I'm just going, I'm just touching him, I kiss him everywhere. I'm like, is this a molest? I don't know what it is. But he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't even earn it, he didn't work for it. The other night, I'm holding him in my arms. He poops through the diaper, through his onesie, into my jeans. Never has anyone else shit my pants before. I've shit my pants 1,000,000 times. This is the first time I outsourced it. And not just us, he's been fucking with us. He's been fucking with my wife before he was born. In the womb, he sent hormones to my wife's brain. For 9 months, she was a psychopath. And there's nothing I could do. You gotta agree with everything she says. She's got a hostage in there. You gotta give in to the demands. 6 months into the pregnancy, we're laying in bed, middle of the night, a mosquito bites her on the nose. She wakes me up. She looks at me. She goes, "You don't come back to bed till you've killed this thing." Now I gotta find a mosquito in the middle of the night with the lights out. She don't even mind put the lights on. She's like, sniff him out. I'm sniffing him out like Wolverine. And I'm looking for him every night. 8 days, this thing is in our room, just zipping by her ears, like, wake up, get him. I'm like, okay. I'm just knocking pictures off the wall. 8 days. This thing was in our room 8 days. And I remember it was 8 days because on the 8th day, I was in my phone. I was standing up. I was on my phone. Mosquito landed on my phone. I killed him. I woke my wife up and went, look, I got him. And she looks at me and she goes, wipe it on the wall. I said, what? She goes, show them what happens when they fuck with my family. What? Okay, Mama Bear, so there I am, a normal brain citizen smearing mosquito blood onto a wall as a warning to other mosquitoes? What do you think's gonna happen? They're just gonna show up and be like, we can't eat here. Look what they did to Jerry, and just run away? That's biblical shit. Anyway, I didn't want to deal with this. I didn't want to deal with mosquitoes ever again, so I was like, let me Google it. Let me find everything I can. I found this out. I didn't know. Mosquito lifespan. It's only 10 days. Bothered us for 8. All I had to do was wait them out 2 more days. Then I really thought about it. I was like, man, that mosquito bothered my wife and I for a week and a day. But for that mosquito, I was hunting him his whole life. He made a mistake as a child and then just lived a life on the run. All he knew was just me, this immortal beast, trying to hunt him. I never got older. I never got tired. I honestly think when he landed on that phone, he was just like, I'm tired of running. I can't live my life like this anymore. And I looked at him like, my name is Añeco Montoya. You bit my wife. Prepare to die. And I murdered a senior citizen and wiped his blood on the wall. Yeah. We had our first scare the other day. I don't know if you guys remember your first scare. I was middle of the night, the baby was crying, screaming, but something was off. Something was different. It was a different type of scream. So I run in, I grab him, and I'm trying to console him. He wouldn't calm down. So I just pull his diaper off. I'm like, maybe it's his dick. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'll look at everything. I'll inspect the whole situation. So I pull his diaper off, and in his butt, he had a rock hard poop. It was rock hard and he couldn't pass it. And he's just going, oh! Yeah! I just reacted. I just grabbed it and I pulled it out. I was like, ha! Like the sword and the stone. It was like, I am the king of Camelot now. If I can pull that thing out. And then he just goes, oh. Like he came. I watched my son come. It's a beautiful experience to be around. Yeah, man, I pull that thing out. Now I realize what I've done. Now I'm like, ah! And he's smoking a cigarette. He's like, yeah, this is just crazy, dude. I can't believe you even put a glove on. That is insane. But that's how crazy these children make you. My wife, she hasn't slept in weeks. She hears the screaming. She hears the baby screaming. She hears me screaming. She runs in, sees me going, ah! And she goes, don't eat that. That is what she said. She said, don't eat that. Don't eat that? What do you think I'm doing in here? You think I'm sneaking in the middle of the night like a one for you and a one for daddy? That is a batshit crazy thing to say to a human being. Don't eat that? Yeah. My wife's a nutritionist. I don't know if that adds to the story, but yeah. She's a nutritionist. She doesn't take her work home with her, as you can tell. The other day, she was like, when are we gonna get rich from comedy? I'm like, when am I gonna get skinny? We're both bad at our jobs, bitch. Come on, what are you talking about? What's going on here? Get home. Oh, man. She'll do crazy ass things to try to get me to lose weight. Like, she won't tell me directly, but she'll do this passive shit. Like for my birthday, she got me jiu-jitsu lessons. I wanted a PS5. She got me work. She got me beat up. Like, that is crazy. That's not a good gift. But But I'll be honest, I got excited. No way. I was like, no way, this is gonna be fun. I'll take jiu-jitsu, right? I'll learn a new skill, plus I'll lose weight, and added plus, I'll get that instructor. We'll bond. I'll get that Mr. Miyagi. I got to burp. Sorry, we got to edit that out. I got to do the whole thing. That was just, the bit was coming, and I'm like, you're my vomit on the front row. We're leaving it in. We're leaving that part in. Who gives a shit, man? Fuck it. We're leaving it in. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck the joke. Fuck the joke. Fuck my wife. Fuck that instructor. This is crazy. Yeah. No, man, but I was excited. I was like, I'll lose weight, I'll have some fun, plus I'll meet the instructor. He'll be like my new dad, I'll get that Mr. Miyagi experience, I'll get the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi dude who's like teaching me lessons. I don't even know he's teaching me lessons, like wax on, wax off, but I'm learning how to block. I want that. I want that new dad. I want Mr. Miyagi. But I did not get Mr. Miyagi. I got the Cobra Kai asshole. Dude, this guy was a dick. He was an asshole. I remember I walked in, I was so excited. I had my new gi on. I walk in, he looks at me, he goes, "Why are you here?" I was like, I don't know, Groupon? And he goes, "No, what do you want to get from this experience?" And I was like, I want to lose weight, I want to have some fun. He did not like this answer. He was like, that's not what we do here. We train killers, and we go to tournaments, and this is the highest level jiu-jitsu that you can take, and he just keeps going on and on and on, and then looks at me and goes, "What are you gonna do if you're in a bar and someone tries to fuck your wife?" What? What am I gonna do if in a bar and someone tries to fuck my wife? I don't know. Hope she says no? I mean, that's really where we're at in the relationship. If I'm in a bar and someone tries to fuck my wife, me knowing how to choke them out isn't changing the situation. There are so many things you would need to teach me. Do you teach cooking, cleaning, listening, learning, not spending the rent on action figures? You teach that here? But I didn't say any of that. I tried to make a joke to lighten the mood. So when he was like, "What are you gonna do if you're in a bar and someone tries to fuck your wife?" I just leaned in and went, "Well, you haven't seen my wife." And he went, "That's not funny." He just said no. He just couldn't even yes and me. This guy sucks. Anyway, halfway through the class, I had to call my wife because I had an asthma attack. And she had to bring my inhaler. She shows up with the inhaler. She gives it to the instructor. The instructor looks back at me and goes, "Hey, Greg, I don't know why you made that joke before. Your wife is a very beautiful woman." He threw me under the goddamn bus. I was trying to make jokes. He's gathering evidence. Then it hits me. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you the guy trying to fuck my wife? Maybe you are Mr. Miyagi. But you're not like wax on, wax off. It's like, I'm gonna fuck your wife. If you can block it, you get a black belt. Yeah. I love my wife. She's good. I love my wife. She's sweet, man. She's a good person. I've never cheated on her, but I don't feel like I should be proud of that. My friend's getting married, and I was like, "Hey, how do you know you love her?" And he's getting married after 1 year. 1 year in, he is going to marry this woman. I said, "How do you know you love her?" He goes, "Oh, 'cause I ain't never cheat on her." I was like, "You fucking piece of shit." But in his defense, he's hot. Like, he's a hot guy. I'm not hot, right? I've never cheated on my wife, but also nobody's asking, Me being proud of not cheating feels very similar to when I used to watch basketball with my dad, and he would be like, "Oh, I would never play for the Knicks." It's like, yeah, we're not in the draft. He's getting married, man. He's getting married. And I was talking to him. I'm like, man, like you probably, I'm not saying you should wait, but maybe, you wait. I'm with my wife 14 years, okay? 14 years. Married for 4, okay? That's right. That is how you do it. You wait. There's no rush. There's no need to get married fast. Doesn't do anything. Plus, a year in, you're still fucking. And I mean fucking. I don't mean sex the way I have it, where I just look for the hole in her sweatpants. I mean, like, you're having great sex every time you have sex. And if you are having great sex every time you have sex, you don't know if you're in love with that person. You don't. Your mind, it's clouded with filth, okay? You have good sex. Listen to me now. Good sex is not a sign of love. It's not. You can have good sex with anybody. Best sex I ever had, psychopaths, okay? Good sex is not a sign of love. Bad sex. That is when you know you love someone. Don't start shopping for that ring till she rolls off you and goes, what the fuck was that? Those are the real signs, my friend, please. Me and my wife, we had sex the other night. I think? I'm not 100% sure what we did. We had sex and nobody came. You ever do that? You ever have sex and no one comes? Not me, not her, not the cat, no one. That is love. When you have sex the same way you play Monopoly. We're like, we've been at this a very long time. Let's just close the board and get a sandwich. If you have sex and no one comes, did you have sex? That's like a deep philosophical question. If 2 people rub their bodies together, nothing comes out. Did it happen? I don't know. How do you even end sex when no one comes? I'll tell you how I ended it. I called it. I called it like a soccer match that went over time. It ended the same way, just a bunch of sad people walking to the showers like, we'll get them next time. You can't win them all. I feel like we got sweaty for nothing out there. Yeah. My wife is great, man. Her family is good, man. Her family's been helping us watch the baby, right? So we go there, and then they help watch the kid, and I get to sleep, But her parents are, they're from Thailand. They're Thai, from Thailand, not Taiwan. Some people mix that up. Those people were me when I met my wife. It was really embarrassing. But to get some help, it sucks going there because we sleep in her childhood bed and she goes to bed at 8 o'clock at night. And my options are to go to bed early with her or go out and watch Thai TV with my Thai mother, who often forgets that I don't speak Thai. Okay? So I was like, all right, fuck it. My wife went to bed. I'm gonna take an edible. I'm gonna get high as hell. I'm gonna watch Thai TV with my Thai mother. And this is gonna be amazing. Let me tell you, it was amazing. We're watching TV, I'm laughing my ass off. And then it was like, oh fuck, this is the news. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. But I was high out of my brain. Her mom starts talking to me and I was like, holy shit, I understand Thai. That was how stoned I was. I was so stoned, I was just reading her emotions. And I'm like, fuck it, man. I think, plus I've been around her 14 years. Like, I understand what's happening here, but can I speak Thai? I was like, I think I can do this. But the last part of my sober brain said, do not attempt this move. Go to bed. Go to bed. Wake up in the morning. If you still know Thai in the morning, then try it. So I woke up the next morning. I told my wife, I was like, honey, I got so high last night, I understood Thai. And my wife looks at me and she goes, yeah. Or she was just speaking English. And I was like, yeah, that is all that happened there. She was just speaking to me in English, and I almost attempted the most racist thing you can do to a person. I was just gonna do her language to her face without Rosetta Stone. Best I get, Jabba the Hutt. I'd have just Jabba the Hutted her. I'd have just looked at her and be like, Ugatuma na 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 solo. I did that shit. Her parents are great. My parents are crazy. And my real dad was a comedian. Jerry Seinfeld, maybe you heard of him. No. My dad did a little bit of comedy, but he was very funny. And I don't know if you had funny parents, but people always ask, like, was it fun having a funny dad? And I would be like, no, it wasn't. Okay, it wasn't funny. Because when your parents are funny, you think they're just telling you the truth. But my dad was just running bits. He was trying to be hilarious, and I'm just logging shit in there, not fact-checking it until it's too late. It's about 4th grade. I was spending extra time in the bathroom. I was learning about my body. My dad, trying to be funny, starts banging on the door, starts going, "You know you'll go blind. You know if you keep doing that, you're gonna go blind." Hilarious, Dad. Except that was the time in my life when we were finding out that I needed glasses. So there I am at the eye doctor, talking to the eye doctor, looking at her in the face, being like, "Is there anything I'm doing to my body that would make this happen?" And she was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Is there like a part of your body that you can touch a lot, furiously, rigorously, sensually, that would make your eyes get worse?" And she was like, "Are you poking yourself in the eyes?" And I was like, "No, I'm playing with my penis. I am playing with my penis. I am playing with my penis. And my father said if you play with your penis that you can go blind. And now I need glasses. Am I doing this to myself?" And she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God. Let me get the doctor." Because she was not the doctor. She was the receptionist. When you're in 4th grade, you think everybody in the medical building's got a medical degree. So I'm just giving out HIPAA-related information to anyone who will take it. I'm just like, "I'm playing with my penis." The guy's like, "I ain't going to jail for this shit, kid. Do not talk to me." La 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 la. I have a piece of paper. It just says, "You're doing great." No. That is actually... So they bring me into the office. The doctor is there. My dad is there. The receptionist, she stuck around. She's like, "I gotta see how this ends." And I remember the eye doctor looking at me so seriously, trying so hard to just be serious and not laugh. And he's looking at me and he's like, "There's no scientific evidence that would indicate masturbating leads to vision loss. That's an old wives' tale. You can go back to doing that. It's completely healthy." And I was like, "Go back? You think I stopped? Why do you think I was late to this appointment? I have committed to this as my life." I was like, "Fuck it, I'll get a dog, I'll get some sunglasses. This is who I am." But that ain't stopping. That was my real dad, and my real dad was fun. My stepdad was a psychopath. My stepdad used to make guns in the basement. He would get old World War II parts of guns, build guns, and when I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6, when he moved in, I walk in, I go, "Hey, George, what are all the guns for?" And he looks at me and he goes, "For when it all goes down." And I said, "When it all goes down, do I get a gun?" And he said, "No, but you can hold your cock and cry for your mother." What? You can't say cock to a 7-year-old? I didn't have a cock. I'm 40 now. Still don't have a cock. When do you get a cock? I have a weenie and I have a coolie and I have caca that comes out of my coolie. That's what I grew up with. But my stepdad, like I said, got 1 million guns. He's pro-death penalty, right? That's crazy. You're not, listen, if you are pro-gun and you are pro-death penalty, you're not pro-life. You're just pro-killing them later. You're procrastination. That's what you are. Crazy. You know? You don't think we should have guns? We should have lots of guns. Little guns that shoot fetuses like, like 1,000 points, 1,000 points. Everyone likes that joke, and then that part, they're like, I don't like that part. I like that part. That part's for me. And here's the thing, he's getting older now. He's getting older, so he's getting a little bit softer. So me, my brother, and my sister, we all try to see if we can get him to like show emotion, right? So when I had the baby, and I go, hey, George, want to hold Calvin? And he was like, you know? And I gave him the baby, and his face wells up. He turns white. He starts tearing. He holds the baby close, and then he looks at my child and goes, everybody was kung fu fighting. What the fuck is that? That is the craziest shit I've ever seen. Because he loves this child, but that is the most racist thing I've ever heard. I've never seen racism and love team up before. This is a weird thing to say. A few years ago, I went to Christmas. I wore a pink shirt. I thought I looked good. I walk in the house, my stepfather sees me, he just goes, pink shirt. Well, I guess you're gay now. I was like, a pink shirt is not what makes you gay. And when you find out what does, you are in for a surprise. Then he goes, it's okay, it doesn't affect how I feel about you. I just don't know how God feels about this. And I was like, you think God doesn't like gay people? God loves gay people. I can prove it. He keeps making them. That's the end of my argument. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense. Gay people keep showing up. What? You know who God hates? The dinosaurs. Why has no one made that argument? He had a real hard-on for the dinosaurs. He threw a rock at them at 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah, God hates the dinosaurs. People from Atlantis, Crystal Clear Pepsi, Blockbuster Video, all that shit. Because he shut it down. If God hated gay people, if God truly hated gay people, we wouldn't have gay bars. We'd have gay museums. That's how you'd have to learn about gay people. You go in the center of town, they take you on tour, like, that's Elton John, there's Liberace, there's your cousin Larry, you get a little Tom Cruise in the gift shop, and that'd be it. I grew up in the 80s. I don't know, anybody else grow up in the 80s? Any 80s kids here? Yeah, a couple people? Yeah. It was a fun time, it was fun. I think it was the last time where you can have a child and not give a shit about that child. My mom, this is how she raised us. She'd be like, go outside. When the street lights come on, you come back inside. And if you don't come back, we'll put your face on a milk carton, and hopefully someone who reads the milk will find you. Yeah, man, I grew up a block out in Newark, New Jersey. No, I wouldn't woo. That's not wooable. That is not wooable. It was tough. Yeah, man, I was great. I grew up a block in Newark, New Jersey. They always look at me, and they always say the same thing. They always go, you have white privilege. And I'll be honest, maybe I do. I just don't know if growing up the only white kid where I grew up, I got to use it, you know? Because when you're being chased down the block for being the only white kid, it's hard to be like, but my people run Congress! Like, I didn't know how to use it there. But I was lucky because where I grew up was very diverse. On my block alone, we had a Chinese girl, my crew was a Chinese girl, Filipino dude, Puerto Rican, Dominican, and a 35-year-old man who used to just hang around us. You like diversity? You have a creep in your crew? We had a goddamn creep. Guy's name was Dayon. He used to put us in wrestling moves. He used to kiss us on the cheek. He wasn't like a full-on, he was like a Pedialyte, you know? He was like... Should have got. So how did we handle Dayon? We used to sing a song. I swear to God, we would sing a song. Dayon would come around and we used to go, Dayon, 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 come and the kids run home. They got, no! He would leave. I swear to God. Every kid on the block knew that song. You'd hear that song. You go, Dayon. Windows would open like, Dayon, Dayon, come and the kids run home. It was like birds learning other birds of prey. And I remember the end of Dayon's tenure. Yeah. New kid moved into town. Dayon tried to kiss him. Kid told his parents. They arrested Dayon. He was on the news. And then every kid in the block, we were all like, oh, was that what we were supposed to do? Tell our parents? Call the police? We were singing his songs and screaming his name like Beetlejuice. We were just like, Dayon, Dayon, Dayon. He would disappear. I was like, yes, he's good. We're good. We're good. Yeah. I grew up very religious. My dad, very religious. My dad was at a pro-choice rally. My wife brought me to that rally. My dad was there on the other side. And all the people on our side were like, they're all monsters. I was like, I don't know, somebody give you $50 on your birthday. They're not that bad. He's a sweet guy. I love the guy. He's a good man. I understand being pro-life. I understand being pro-life. I don't understand being pro-life if you're Catholic. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you believe in heaven. I don't believe in heaven. You believe in heaven, so wouldn't abortion just be like, easy pass? You know, and this joke always gets a little weird. I just don't know where I'm wrong on the numbers. Why are we making them do this layover in Newark Airport? It should just be a direct flight right to Disney World. If heaven exists, I wish I was aborted. I do. I'm probably going to hell for this joke. Like, you're watching me. You're watching me sign the papers. But now my dad wants to baptize our child. He wants to baptize the baby. I told him, I was like, I'm not baptizing the fucking kid, man. I am not religious. I do not believe in religion. Religion is the downfall of society. And I'm just going on and on and on. And then he looks at me, he goes, well, your sister had a baptism and she got about 10 grand from the family. And I was like, fuck it, let's wet this kid. We wet the kid, let's wet him. We're gonna wet him. We'll wet him tonight. We'll wet him tonight. Let's dunk his ass. Who gives a shit? We'll wet him. I'll dry him off. Who cares? But then my wife gets furious. She's like, no, because she's raised Buddhist. She's like, why are we going to raise the kid the religion that you don't believe when we could raise him the religion that I don't believe? Good point. Now, here's the thing I'll tell you. If you are raised religious, if you're on the fence about your religion, what I suggest you do is something I got to do. Talk to someone about your religion who knows nothing about it. They have to be over the age of 30, okay? And then let them ask whatever questions they might have. See if you can answer those questions, then look at their face when you do answer those questions. I got to do this with my wife. It was crazy. I go, ask me whatever questions you have. She goes, okay, first off, who was Jesus? And I was like, well, Jesus is the Son of God. And she goes, aren't we all God's children? And I was like, yeah. I don't know, that seems like an easy one. No, he's more. He's like more. We're like the step kid, and he's like the more kid. Pass. This is like a layup, and I just threw it right over the backboard. I'm gonna have to see the paperwork on this. I don't know. And then my wife goes, well, what did Jesus do? And I was like, well, Jesus died for our sins. And she goes, well, what did I do? I go, no, you didn't do anything. A long time ago, a snake told a woman to eat an apple, and she ate the apple. And my wife's a nutritionist. She's like, well, that's a very healthy choice. And I was like, no, the apple was bad. She was like, was it rotten? I was like, no, it was apple of knowledge. Like, knowledge is power. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I can't. Are you crazy? I'm a comedian that nobody knows. I can't afford a doona. She was like, all right. And she goes, how'd they fix it? And I was like, well, God was like, y'all fucked up. Y'all fucked up, but here's how we're gonna fix it, okay? Y'all ate the apple. I said, no, but here's how we're gonna solve this. I'm gonna send my son to Earth, You kill my son, we're gonna be okay. Wait, what? Y'all ate an apple. Y'all fucked up. To fix it, I sent my son to Earth. You kill my son, we are good. That is not a sacrifice. That is a mob hit. That is what happened there. I don't know if God was just like, hey, I got a little Jesus problem, all right? You take care of Jesus, I take care of the apple. No fucking big deal. Nobody knows nothing, all right? Under the table, on the arm, all right? Under the fucking arm. It was a wild thing to do. It doesn't make any sense now that I'm older, because I'm like, wait a minute, why? We did a thing that was bad, so to fix it, he did an even worse thing to himself? That's like if Domino's Pizza shows up 2 hours late. And I'm like, you are late with the pizza. And they go, cool, do you want a coupon? I go, no, here's how we're gonna fix this. I'm gonna burn my house down. The whole house, my family, the cat, the dog, they're all in there. Next time you won't be late with the cheesy bread. But I love my dad, and I love that religion, my dad was an alcoholic, and religion saved him, you know, and I love that that works for him. And I love that if religion works for you, man, fucking enjoy yourself, you know, like it just doesn't work for me. Just don't be hypocritical about it. Like my dad will do this hypocritical shit that makes no sense. Like when we had the baby, there was an issue with the pregnancy. Everything worked out, but there was an issue. And then when the issue was resolved, my dad walks in, cocky as hell, and he's like, I know it worked, because I prayed, Jesus looked out for us, boom. And I was like, no, man, you can't do that. You can't give God credit for the good stuff and not the bad. You can't be like, the next one, God rules. COVID, science! You know, it's... You gotta give it all or nothing. He's either interfering or he's not. You can't just pick and choose. It's fucked up, and it's fucked up to judge someone on the good stuff and not the bad. I can't do that. What if I did that? If I was outside and you were like, Greg, who's the greatest comedian who ever lived? And I looked at you and I was like, Bill Cosby, of course. You might have some questions. You might be like, why would you say that? I go, true story, 8th grade, Bill Cosby signed an autograph for me. He was very nice. And you're like, what about all the other shit he did? And I'm like, well, Bill works in mysterious ways. You see, Bill has a plan. We're just not smart enough to see the plan. All right. I didn't always do this, John. I didn't always do comedy. I used to work in an ER. I worked in an emergency room for 5 years. I used to do note-taking and medical billing, but I was so bad. I have ADD, ADHD, central processing disorder. I got all the Ds. I got so many things in there. Actually, I did a podcast where I was talking about ADHD, and the host goes, you also have dyslexia. And I said, what are you talking about? And I called my mom. I said, I was on this podcast. They said I have dyslexia. And she goes, yeah, you do. I went, what? She goes, I was like, why didn't you tell me? She goes, you just had so many other things. So I was real bad. I was real bad at the job because you got to take their notes. You got to spell things right, and you got to get it right, or the doctors get sued. But I was so bad they were going to fire me. They bring me into the office to fire me, and I used to wear red glasses. I wear these red glasses sometimes because patients would die, and I'd get upset, and my contacts would come out, and I'd have to put my glasses on. You know, it was crazy. It was stupid. I shouldn't have been there. I should not have been in this job at all. I was not built for it. So they bring me in, and the doctor sees the red glasses, and he goes, do you wear those all the time? And I was like, well, sometimes. He goes, we've been getting letters that say the doctor with the red glasses was the only one who would listen to me. And then he goes, are you talking to patients? And I was like, yeah, sometimes I'll go in there and I just try to give him something. And he goes, we have been getting patient satisfaction scores through the roof, but only when this doctor was there. No one knew who that was. You are fired from medical billing. Your new job, Patch Adams. That is what you do. You're Patch Adams. That's what you do. Don't write anything down. Just make them laugh. They won't know they're waiting 9 hours for a CAT scan. My best friend at the job was this guy named Moses. Now, Moses' job was he was a nursing tech, so he would take blood. He'd do a bunch of stuff. But one of the things that is, if a patient passed away, he would bring the body to the morgue. That was just one of the things he had to do. But we used to prank each other all the time. We used to fuck with each other. You do things like you take a clean urine cup, you put apple juices in it, and you go, hey, Moses, hold on to this. You throw it, it explodes. It's hilarious. So we're in the middle of a prank war. Patient dies. I go, fuck it. I'm going to take the body down the morgue. I'll go back in that room. I'll lay on the stretcher. I'll put a sheet over my head. I'll just wait for Moses. Like, this is gonna be hilarious. He'll come in, he'll put his hand on me, I'll get up, I'll go, boo! And we'll go get lunch. But we did not go get lunch that day. First of all, I bring the patient down, I go back in that room, I'm laying on a stretcher, I don't know, hour and a half, I'm just giggling like, people are flatlining, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, this is gonna be hilarious! Moses comes in, he puts his hand on me, I get up, I go, boo! He goes, the dead! Screams the words, the dead, cocks back, punches me in the chest, I fell off the stretcher, he ran out of the room. Ran! Not like, ha 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 ha! Like his clothes were standing there and his naked body was like, fuck this, I watched Walking Dead, I ain't gonna be the fucking patient zero, took off to the X-ray department. Some people think their pranks are cool. What do you put saran wrap on a toilet bowl and someone pees on themselves? Hilarious. I made Moses think the zombie apocalypse was happening. But about 6 months later, I'm hanging out with Moses, and he looks at me and he says, hey, Greg, can you do me a favor? And I was like, sure, what's up? He goes, could you feed the lady in room 20? And I was like, yeah, what do I got to know about her? What's her history? And he goes, oh, well, she's got dementia and she's aphasic. And I was like, well, my mom got me this job. I don't know what that means. And he was like, she can't talk or communicate. You could just go in there, you know, give her a little applesauce and you can leave. You don't got to spend a lot of time in there. But in my heart, I'm like, no way. What if her brain still works? But she just can't talk. She's probably not advocating for herself. She's probably not getting the same level of care. I'm not doing that. I'm giving this lady the full Greg Stone experience. Okay? I am in there. I'm running joke ideas by her, inventions I have. In her head, she must have been like, pull the plug. Pull every plug. I can't listen to this guy again. So I sit down, I take a little applesauce, and I go to put it in her mouth, and she doesn't swallow, and I freak out. Because, like, I don't know how old people work. Like, do I just keep shoving more applesauce into her mouth? Do you burp old people? I don't know what to do. Just throw her on my back, start smacking her? I don't know. So I walk out and I talk to the head nurse. I go, hey, she's not swallowing. Should I be doing something? And the nurse looks at me and says, what are you talking about? We're just waiting for the coroner to come. Some of you are smarter than me. Because I was like, the coroner, does he know how to feed her? She was like, no, that woman is dead. What were you doing in there for an hour and a half? And I just see Moses, he's like, got you back, motherfucker. He's just walking away. Like, seriously, dude? That's your level of one-upsmanship? I pretended to be dead. You put me in the room with a dead body that I defiled with applesauce. All right, that's it for me. You guys were great. All done.